checking out some of the sights of Assisi today. Welcome back to Tourist Travels. This is the Chapel of St. Mary of Angels in Assisi. The little chapel inside of this basilica is one that is said to have been rebuilt by St. Francis after he is said to have heard the Lord's call for him to rebuild the church. Here's a look at the library on the right side, and then to the left is the main church. One fun thing about this visit is we actually had a tour guide this time. We went with part of a group and she told us all kinds of interesting things. She even mentioned that the Pope was in town and that although we wouldn't get to meet him, it might affect some of our visit because he was nearby.
Today we have the Pope, because the Pope St. Francis comes many times, not only in Assisi, because his name is Francis, and so that is why he decided to be here several times. But today I think he visits only the St. Mary of Angels with Porziuncola. Now he's in the theater, not far from here, so this is why you see many policies place where we are.
Basilica of St. Mary of Angels. Again, up close look at that, and also right out here in the front. We have the symbol of St. Francis with the two hands there reaching for the cross, and also a depiction of the chapel that was here during his time. On a side note, there are 3 orders of monks here in Italy: the Franciscans, the Benedictines, and the Dominicans. And a fun story is that since the Franciscans could not own property, the Benedictines actually owned this chapel during St. Francis' time, and he would give them a bag of fish as payment to use it. As you can see, the artwork and sculpting that went into this building, as well as all of the other ones we're going to visit today, was just amazingly beautiful. What our tour guide said, only the original chapel inside of here and the place where St. Francis died were preserved. The inside was huge and gorgeous, and also there was some artwork that was extremely old. The person who painted this was actually the master painter who trained Raphael. And from what our tour guide was saying, he actually did some work in the Sistine Chapel. That artwork was actually on the back of this. It's the original chapel that Francis started to restore. As we continue the tour, there were spots to make donations if you're interested in doing that, and then down the hallway to see some of the other amazing things in this building. One of the things we really loved was the garden down at the end of the hallway, which was very close to the place where St. Francis of Assisi stayed during part of his time here. They did have some other really cool display areas over to the side that you could stop and look at, gated off so people don't mess with it. You had this one on one side, and then directly across from it you had the Nativity. Just down the hall from that was the gift shop. The gift shop was actually rather large, and it had quite a selection of items. Of course, they had traditional crosses, they had the cross that St. Francis of Assisi saw, some other variations there. They had several stands set up like this one with small items which you might be looking for, or which would make excellent gifts to ship to someone else. One thing that caught my eye particularly was the variety of rings that they had made of various things, hematite, metal, and as you can see here, some of them even had inscriptions on them. And although we didn't get to see it because we had a lot of places to visit in only a short time, you have the option of visiting the museum if you'd like to learn more about the city, St. Francis, or anything else. And as you leave, you might notice that there's a statue of what they believe St. Francis of Assisi looked like. He's holding an animal. And from what our guide was saying, the stories go that he could talk to animals and angels.
And at the top of the hill, you can see the fortress. And the fortress is the presence of Pope, the papal power here in Assisi.
And as you know from our other videos, we don't usually take guided tours or have a guide to show us around, but this time it was kind of fun because not only did we get some good information, but we did not have to drive. The only thing not in this area here on the map was the Cathedral of St. Mary of Angels that we saw earlier. This is where we're starting at the Basilica of St. Clare, and then we're going to work our way to the left towards the basilica named after St. Francis of Assisi. If you have young kiddos who might need to play for a few minutes, run off some energy, there was a playground right here towards the parking area that we were in, and we actually really enjoyed seeing all the decorations and flags and things of that nature whenever you walked inside of the gate to the city. If you want to do a little shopping, there were several vendors set up along the way, as well as some of the traditional gift shops, and there were plenty of great views as well to enjoy. Our family took a minute to snap a selfie or two, get some video, and something else to watch out for is bicycles. As you can see, there was quite a group going through the city on the day that we were there. Here we are. This is the Basilica of St. Clare, and unfortunately, as we approached the building, the tour guide told us that there were no videos allowed inside, so we didn't get anything there, but it was pretty fun to check out. And they do have an amazing square outside, great place for pictures or just to admire the view. Another thing I thought was really awesome was when we got to this point, about halfway between the Basilica of St. Clare and the Basilica of St. Thomas of Assisi, we came across this building with the pillars. This is the ancient Temple of Minerva, which was made into a cathedral, and this is actually the most well-preserved of the ancient temples. It's made of travertine stone. It was made by the Romans. I missed the exact wording our guide said, but I believe she said it was the most well-preserved in this portion of Italy. And since this town is very ancient, there are several other things that you can see: paintings, frescoes, and private houses, along with part of an amphitheater which is left. If we would have had a second day to explore Assisi, we probably would have dedicated that to all the things which were left from Roman times. As things happened, we were on part of a tour, so we focused on the places of religious significance. One other thing we were able to catch, though, is the Roman Forum. That was located directly across from the ancient Temple of Minerva, and we could only get a quick little glimpse, but it was pretty cool. We just saw the portion that was outside, but you could go in the door right next to that and check out the underground. And just like many other major cities, you have people who are drawing on the street, and you might even be able to see some human statues. This one was fun because it was St. Francis of Assisi and an angel. There were also some people singing in the street as well. All this is for tips, so you have the option to encourage these performers by putting some money into their container as you walk by. And just before we got to the Basilica for Thomas of Assisi, we came across these stairs. They were really beautiful. Diana checked them out, and a lot of people were stopping there to take pictures. It's the Basilica of St. Francis. We're in Assisi. Let's check it out. This basilica is of course massive. Where I was standing was the upper level that you see there, and then here's the lower level, and this is actually where our tour would start. Our group was only one of many. We gathered down here near these arches, and our guide provided us with listening devices which were wirelessly hooked into a microphone that she had, so we could observe and listen without disturbing other groups. And these of course were the main doors that we went through to get into the tour. Although we weren't able to get a lot of video inside, we were able to record freely out here in this area, which was very beautiful. Nice courtyard, many arches, and you can see the back of the cathedral. It is extremely tall, and inside there is a lot of artwork from floor to ceiling, along with some beautiful stained glass. Most of the artwork inside depicted scenes from the life of St. Francis of Assisi, and according to our tour guide, he performed 7 miracles, several of which happened after his death. Well, this was the end of the official tour. We did actually stop for some bubble tea and some coffee, so we'll show you our favorite coffee shop here in Assisi. If you'd like to see it, stick around. Don't forget to stick around for the credits. We always put bonus scenes at the end. Here's a quick look at our favorite coffee shop, Mangia, Bevi, Ama, which means eat, drink, love. And it had not only food, not only bubble tea, which we were after, but a whole variety of other things that you can check out while you're there. And these coffee mugs caught our eye, and the fun thing is they were nice enough to give us one. So we decided we'd give them a shout out on our channel. So if you get a chance when you are in Assisi, check out Mangia, Bevi, Ama. It's our favorite coffee shop. gave us the mug. I'm going to give them a shout out. Thanks again for watching. Please check out my books at www.amazon.com/author/David A. Destroyer. Check us out on all of our other social media websites. Have a great day. We hope to see you in our travels.
And this is a Greek and Latin cross. So this is a little bit of Greek period, but in reality it is a Latin cross. And the meaning of this symbol is that St. Francis as like alter Christus in Latin language. I mean the other Christ. Oh, okay,